Good evening, everybody. Yeah, we'll begin today's session. I'll be still taking up few doubt questions which are left to be solved for this paper. This was the question which I had missed out on solving. I had done a stupid, silly mistake while solving this question. So I'll just quickly solve it here. 1 second. Yeah. So here what is given is you're given these mobile structures which are made up of fish cutouts. They are all of the same size and weight. Which of the option will remain balanced after suspending from the ceiling? Yeah, so we'll start with the option A. This will weigh, for example, XX. So the weight here will be 2x. Now this is in the center. That's why both of these x will counter each other. Now this point is also happening in the center, which means in order to counter 2x weight on one side, this also should be 2x, but it's x. So aage jaake, this won't be a balanced composition. So A is not a balanced composition. Now when I go to the next part, figure B, this will be x and this will be x. It's again in the center, so it will be countered. It will be countered by each other. There is no, offset how it is happening in this position. So the combined weight happening at this juncture will be 2x here. Now 2x is happening on one end. Now if I look at the brown, light brown, dark brown lines, there are 2 units here and there are 4 units here, which means that whatever will be the weight on this side, if the weight here is x, uska double times will be exerted because of this asymmetric kind of weighing which is happening of 1/2. This is 1 and this is 2, 1/2 weighing system. So if there is 2x, ye iska weight x hai, so because of this 1/2 proportion system, it will be counterbalanced. Now iska 2x, iska x, matlab yahan pe the weight exerted by this point is 3x. Now if I look at the brown line here, it is again divided into a proportion of 2:1:6, which means whatever is being weighed down on this side, matlab iska jo bhi weight hai x, if this weight is x, uska 3 times, because 1:3 proportion hai, so iska 3 times will, this is 2/6, matlab 1/3 in proportion. So iska 3 times, whatever is being weighed down here, uska 3 times will be the pressure exerted by the fish here. So 3x and 3x will be there on both the sides. That is fine. Now the total weight, ideally iska gray fish ka to weight x hai, but the total weight which is being carried out by this point will be x and plus 3x, which is 4x. And the the brown cutouts we have are 2:1, 2, 3, 4, 8, which means 1:4 proportion. So if this is x weight, uska because of this proportion of 1:4, 4 times will be exerted because of this extra or asymmetric weighing system. So B is a balanced composition that way. In the next figure, 1 second, 3x. Okay, Kavya, I'll come back. Let me check with C. C, maybe the same system is happening like I've explained here. So if you're still not clear, I'll come back here. Okay. So yeah, 1 second. So this is in case of option C, this is x, this is happening in the middle, and this is x, both are counterbalanced. That is fine. This is also happening, how should I put it? This is also happening in the middle. Yahan pe 2x aayega weight or yahan pe x aayega. So this is actually not a balanced composition. The C is not possible. One second. Yeah. Let me complete just 1 second. Let me just complete this. We get something different. It's not actually, sorry. This is not because of, yeah, this. 2 is to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, in the D case, this is X, this will be X happening in the middle, both will counter. Here the total weight exerted will be 2X. This is 2 proportion, 2 brown, I mean 2 brown sticks. And then this is 4 proportion, 1:2 ratio is happening here of distribution, which means green ka jitna weight hai, uska 2x, because it's 1:2, uska 2x times, because of this asymmetric proportion, will be weight by B ideally. So 2x plus xe will count, because ideally the fish weight is x. So we'll be counting only x here. This will counter. This 2 times will counter, because it will counter. वो उसको counter करने के लिए ये dimension use होगा. But ideally ये वाले point पे there will be only 3x total weight being exerted from this point. So this is again ऊपर जाते हुए, this is 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. So 3 times 1:3 proportion happening on this side, which means this will be 3x. This is 3x, this is 3x, still fine. 3 plus x, this will be 4x. 2 is to 8. So 4x, and then 1:4 again, proportion happening here, which means this will also be 4x. So D is also a balanced composition that way. Is this clear? Does the direction of the fish matter? In this case, I don't think so the direction of the fish matters, because I mean, I don't think so. I have not seen it with that perspective, but I may get back to you. But I just looked at it from a calculative perspective. So that's how I arrived here. I've not looked at the direction perspective yet. Let me get back to you on that, but I don't think so it should, ideally. Because if we see, say for example, if we see this part, the last part, I mean, sorry. Yeah, if we see the last part, like here, they both are facing each other. So, which means they may be countering each other, but how do you define the direction happening at this junction? That is difficult to say, because यहाँ पे अलग direction में face हो रहा है, यहाँ पे अलग direction में face हो रहा है. So unless and until one says that if one looks at on this side, other looks on this side, and then this looks on the other side, that's where it is balancing. But I'm not sure about the direction, Anshi, that way. Kavya, have I answered your question? Are you clear? Okay, any doubts, any questions? Okay, move the next one. Yeah. The next question doubt was, this is number 24. 25, okay. This was the next question which people had doubt with, where you're given 4 graphs and you have to guess which graph represents the equation x into y is equal to 25, sorry, x into y is equal to 25. In this case, there is only one graph which does not equal to this equation, which is B. Why B? Because of this quadrant. ये वाले quadrant में जो red line आ रहा है ना, because of that. If you look at that multiplication thing which is happening, one is a positive integer, one is a negative integer. If a negative and a positive integer multiply with each other, the answer is negative. The answer is supposed to be a minus. So what is given in the question is x is equal to positive 25. So you cannot have a a line x is equal to 25 line in this quadrant. यहाँ पे वो line तभी आएगी if 25 के बदले -25 दिया होता. Only in that case this quadrant में the red line should be there. So B is the one जिसमें possible नहीं है. I mean, which is not possible to have a xy is equal to 25. Now, if you just do a cross check of different values like 25 k multiples, which is 5 by 5, or 25 is to 1, just very basic one like such as these, A works, even this works. -5 and -5, 25. And here also it works. And then 12 के आसपास आपका 2 point something कुछ आता होगा यहाँ पे, which is also fine. So is the case with this guy. जो 25 वाला line यहाँ पे है, that actually comes to somewhere here, which is in 1/10, which is in 1 ratio. Versus on this side, ये 25 है, तो ये middle point पे ही आपका आएगा, which is 5. So A works, C works, and D works. Only B does not work because the quadrant is different. That's it. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. People had doubt here. I had solved this somewhere in a, I don't know, somewhere, some on the Sunday session, or maybe, I don't know. But it's actually very simple. What you have to guess is which of the following rocking chairs will not topple while rocking 15 degrees. Now, if I'm rocking a rocking chair with 15 degrees, it will only not 15 degrees, we are going to the extreme. It will only not topple. Of course, it will topple when you have a condition like this, where iska jo gravity ka point hai, that is actually comes on the ground, because your head will be actually placed on that edge. If I place this down vertically, it is well supported by the arch. If you look at C, C is also well supported by the arch. If you look at D, D is not well supported by the arch. So in this case, B and C are the only ones where if I place pressure on this side, I will still, because of the arch length which is giving here, my whole, I mean, I won't topple down, because it's not like, you know, here if I place a weight on this end, this is actually going to, even little bit weight, it will just topple down. It may stay stable when it is stagnant, but little bit weight on this side and it just topples down because the center of gravity shifts there, shifts towards the outside of the object. So B and C are the only ones. In case of rocking chair, just do this short exercise of drawing the line of where you are applying, you're going to apply pressure, and where exactly does that point fall on. Is this clear? Any doubts, any questions? Okay. So this 28. Okay. So here you're given a toy, and this toy is moving, and it will making some mark on a screen, on a paper or a screen. which of the options can never be made by the pencil. Now, I have drawn this weird line at the bottom here, ye wala, the black line that you see. Ideally, this is the kind of mark which will be made by it. Abhi ye wala jo rising position hai, that happens here. Sorry, yeah. This rising position happens here. This will be at the peak, and then suddenly it goes down here. This will be a, how should I put it? If this is the direction, so there will be a solid line. This solid line, यहाँ से ये वाला जो आपका point है, इतना point है, this is the solid line for that. From this point to this point, it will rise gradually. From this, ये वाला जो part है, वो peak आएगा यहाँ पे. This will be the peak, and then it goes down. Now this going down and then becoming stable will actually happen over a very short distance. So it goes up, here reaches peak, comes down here, itna distance travel karke, and then again goes solid because of this arc. Again rises up, reaches the peak, goes down, again goes a solid line. So this is the kind of arch which will be formed roughly. If you look at the options, D does not suffice that. You never go up, you never go down gradually and then do that. B or C are the only ones which are drastic arch, which does not suffice that condition. If these were some kind of a, like not an ellipsoidal, but how should I put it? Like, I'm not able to make this clearly, but more like a parabola kind of thing. But B or C nahi possible hai. It will be actually a very smooth curvature like this, the way I have drawn it here. I mean, this is literally me tracing how it will be drawn. How will the this car be moving? So D is a solid line, so it will actually be A and D together. Solid line, little bit rise because you are coming down, and then I mean because of this point, आपका ये यहाँ पे जब आएगा तब ये आपका रेडियस से ये वाला डिस्टेंस ज्यादा बढ़ता जाएगा आपका. As you go, as you peak here, and then वापस से as you come down, यहाँ से रेडियस से आपका पॉइंट छोटा होता जाएगा. So that's why A and D will be the one. But again, this distance, ये वाला जो peak है versus ये equidistance का peak है. Like even if you, okay, let me, okay, yeah. जैसे the wheel का shape ना, it's like this. It's like a pear, roughly. So if this is the radius distance, तो ये वाला आपका distance है, वो radius से almost radius जितना ही बाहर जा रहा है आपका, almost, which means that it's actually even less. I've drawn an exaggerated version, but it actually comes down here like this. ऐसा कुछ है in ideal ये वाले situation. So it's slightly more than the radius. So from the flat line, it will just slightly rise and then slightly come down. So that slight increase, it's not a drastic increase how we see here, but it's a very, or even here, but it's a very minor increase. Because radius को आप वो total distance है, 1 second, ये वाला जो total distance है यहाँ से यहाँ तक का, ये वाला total distance में से आप वो radius का line minus करोगे, you will be left with a very small trajectory. That small trajectory cannot be so big as given with B or so big as given with C. It has to be a minor setback here, जैसा यहाँ पे दिया है. So that's why you will negate B and C. I mean, you can actually draw it. It's much easier to sketch the trajectory of how it will be doing like I've done here. But if not, you can actually compare it. Okay, how if I minus the radius, is the total distance more or less like in terms of proportion, how much more or less is the total distance? Is equivalent to the radius or is less than that? That will give you a rough trajectory of whether or not do we expect such a huge rise or whether it will be a minor rise. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. 28 and 30. Okay. Yeah, this is actually easy. So here you're given the top and side views of a photographer's setup for a product shoot. P is the primary source of light. S is the secondary source. This is S. This is P. S is the secondary source. R is the reflector. And Q is the camera position. When you say R is the reflector, look at the position of how the reflector is being placed. This is the reflector, which means P ka light iske upar aayega, and then whatever light gets bounced off will be coming back. Plus there's a light source जो plan में बाहर की तरफ light भेज रहा है, which means S won't be affecting the shadow. S won't be affecting the shadow in any way, which is for sure. So if I am saying that S का shadow कहीं पे भी नहीं गिरेगा, I will naturally negate option D for sure, because option D में एक shadow आपका यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, एक shadow ऐसे जा रहा है, ये जो नीचे दिख रहा है आपको ऐसा, that is a shadow of another light source. Now if the light source direction is actually going out of the picture, which means S won't be contributing in any way for I mean dropping the shadow. Now in another situation, if I look at option B, which is the brightest actually, with case of option B, the situation is happening that I have a light source here, which is the primary one, plus I have another light source here where Q is placed actually, which is actually, I may have a light source here, but it's actually coming on top, ऊपर से देख रहा है. So in the top view, if my camera position, if my light position was exactly on top here, like this, only then I will get a shadow which is exactly on top here, जो ऐसे नीचे गिर रहा है. आपका जो ऑब्जेक्ट है उसके नीचे exactly immediately नीचे shadow आ रहा है, which means the point source has to be above the object, which is not the case. So B गलत है. Between A and C, now I'm left with A and C only. Between A and C, if you observe option A very carefully, if my point source is at 45-degree angle here, तो ये माउथ का शैडो आप देखो, उसमें पूरा नॉट लिट है, it's dark actually, versus if I have a, चलो whatever, ऐसा वाला है, अगर मेरा 45 डिग्री से सामने से ऐसे लाइट, I mean this position, if light is happening, there will be some amount of light rendering happening on this part. ये जो पूरा पार्ट है, it should be rendered with light because ऑब्जेक्ट के सामने से लाइट आ रहा है, आपका ऑब्जेक्ट के एग्जैक्ट सामने से लाइट आ रहा है, जैसे यहाँ पे दिया है, यहाँ पे दिया है. Henceforth, A will actually be wrong and C will be the one which will be chosen. Beyond that, I'll give you another justification also of why will I eliminate A. Look at this part. You see two lines here, here, and here, which means another secondary source is being added in this direction. तो ही आपके, I mean, the direction might be little bit, the angle might be different. It won't be with P because there are three lines seen. So ये तीन line का मतलब, I'll just erase that part so you can see it clearly for yourself. If you just look at this part, ये वाला जो part है, if you just observe that, there are three strokes being seen. It is difficult to have these 3 strokes unless and until you have another primary source of light, secondary source of light happening near the primary source of light. It's a little bit difficult unless until you have that. And that too not from the top but from the bottom, नीचे से ऊपर, तो ये possible होता है. If it is from the bottom, तो आपका mouth भी dark होगा, तो mouth पे भी light नहीं आएगा if it is coming from the bottom. So A is wrong and C will be the one which will be chosen. In case of these kind of question for light rendering, don't get confused. Just go with the trajectory of, if this is 45 degree or whatever is the angle, where will the shadow be? Just look for the shadow part. If you are getting confused by the shadow part, just look for the shining part. Here, if you look at this shining part, it clearly is an emission of a strong primary source power, but secondary source पीछे जा रहा है, तो उसका light तो दिखने नहीं वाला है, तो यहाँ पे it is all dark. But if you look at option D, ऐसा वाला condition, उसमें अगर secondary source जहाँ पे reflector लगा है वहां पे secondary source आ रहा होता, तो ऐसा condition possible होता आपका, which is not the case. Any doubts, any questions? Just search for where are your shadows coming and where exactly are your lighted spots, the most lit spots like these happening. And are these aligning with the camera, sorry, not the camera, but with the light source? Any doubts, any questions? Okay. So here, shown is in the figure are pages in a children's book with holes. The book is cut along the red lines. Which option shows the correct cross section? A cross section is made while cutting the book along the red line, as we see here. You have to find the correct cross section. Now, in this case, I won't go with actually constructing the whole thing ever. I will just compare my options together. When I compare the options together, there is a drastic thing happening with option D. A, B, and if I just look at the first 2 parts, A, B, just this is one part and this is second part when I say the first 2 part, okay? So between A, B, and C, it's roughly the same. I won't say exactly, but it's roughly the same. But at D, this part and this part is drastically different, okay? Why am I saying it's different? Because यहाँ पे आपका cross section ऐसा है, A, B और C में वो cross section stepped है. So I will just do a cross check whether or not it will be a situation that D that is shown in D, or it will be a situation that will be shown in A, B, or C. And I just go and check the edge. Let's again. Let me just erase this a bit. Yeah, thank you. So it's happening in the second. So yeah, one is this much distance, उसके आगे जाके थोड़ा ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है. But it's actually a very minor difference. Okay, ये वाला जो distance है, this distance and this distance, there's a very minor slight increase. It's not a sudden increase that we see here like this. ये वाला जो increase है इतना बड़ा increase नहीं है. So D wrong. Now I will go with the other parts. Between A, B, C, what is the difference? I'll first check that difference. Okay. Yeah. This is a difference. This is a difference. Stepped. और यहाँ पे अंदर जाके फिर वो बाहर आता है. So 1A has a cross section like this. And then, yeah, I mean, it goes up, whatever. B has a cross section of a stepped. C has a cross section of like this. Just the last part. I will just look at that part, okay? Now that last part is actually, yeah, here. So this distance, this is more. This is slightly less, almost half of less. ये total distance half जितना कम हो जाता है. And then this is, I mean, between this and this is more, but it's not, this is more, but it's slightly more. It's not a little bit. So if this is 2x, this will be x, and this will be 0.8x something. So it's very slightly less than this. This kind of situation says 2x, it comes down to x here, and then it goes, sorry, this will be, I written 1.1x, not slightly more, slightly, not so much, but little bit. So it is actually a situation like this. This situation is what is seen in option C. That will be the correct. In this case, without constructing the whole cross section, I am able to get the answer just by comparing the options together, finding the differences between them like we found in the first part here. And then in the second part, I just constructed this profile and I found the answer. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Then 1 second. 34. 34. Okay, this one. So here you're given a profile and there's some scaled version of image P provided below. In this case, I will follow the process of comparing A, B, C, D together instead of comparing with the question figure. When I compare A, B, C, D together, I see this part missing here. जो B में दिख रहा है, D में भी दिख रहा है, C में भी दिख रहा है. So when I compare it with P, it is there, A गलत है. Again, when I look back between B, C and D, I find this part missing. ये वाला जो part है in D. So D गलत. Between B and C, when I compare it together, B and C, yeah. ये part यहाँ पे नहीं है. In this is that part. So C is the one, B is wrong. Any doubts, any questions? In this kind of questions, you will be able to solve it quickly if you just compare your option figures together. It's the easiest way. Human high have a tendency to find the flaw first over the similarity. Use that to your advantage. 37. You're given, so you're shown in the box some orthographic projection, plan view, top view, front view, and side view. Which option represents this orthographic projection? Now, again, I will follow that same technique. I will just compare the option figure with each other. When I compare the option figure, I find this to be a distinguishing factor. So whatever is happening on the left side, एक दो जगह पे between B and C, it is not jutting out, versus in A, A and D, the left side is jutting out. I will just look at in the in the orthographic projection, what is the condition? If you look, if I just compare the orthographic projection and specifically in this case, the top view, the left side is being jutting out here. This is the left side which is jutting out. ये ऊपर का पार्ट है, which is this part, और फिर ये नीचे का पार्ट है बाकी का. So B गलत है, C गलत है, A and D में से कोई है, एक है. Between A and D, I find this to be a very crucial part, which is different. Now, if I look at the front view, this part is actually happening here. ये continuous line यहाँ पे ऐसा line है. It's this horizontal line is continuous. It's not broken. Versus in A, that horizontal line is broken. So I will say A galat hai and D will be the correct answer. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. 39. This one. So shown below are two parts of a mold. Mold is closed and material is poured over in the cavity. What would be the resultant mold part? Actually very simple. जहाँ पे cavity है वहाँ पे concrete गिरेगा और whatever material they want to add, it will be, the material will be poured. Now, if you look at this part, it's actually a vertical Z which gets formed here. And इसका जो proportion है with reference to the overall figure, overall form कुछ ऐसा form होगा, something, okay? I'm not making the whole form. इसका it's actually equivalent. इसका ये जो Z का ये वाला height है, it's almost a little bit more than the overall figure. ये वाला इसका जो height आपका total है और इसका ये Z का जो height है, it's actually similar, slightly more in the outer profile. The condition where this is happening, B में ये वाला Z छोटा है. A में it's some weird form, it's not even a Z. So A और B गलत है. C and D are comparable still, possible. C or D are still comparable. There's a possibility. But Z is not getting complete in D. In Z, I get an L form and I get this. And then ये अंदर जा रहा है. But if I look at the profile here, sorry, here. 1 second, guys. ये वाला जो मेरा प्रोफाइल है बाहर के फॉर्म का, which goes like this, comes out, goes in here, and then goes in again. So this C formation which I have here is happening only in the option C, ये वाला C formation. D में it's an L formation, it's not a C formation. So I will say D galat hai and C will be the one which I will choose. You will have to go, like this. Take the parts, choose one part and then do it. इसमें आप option को compare करके it's difficult to do it. Okay. Kavya, this is with reference to this question you are asking. How can we compare side view? Okay, previous one. Question 37. Okay. Okay. You have any doubts here? Okay. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? Okay. In the previous one here, you can compare the side view if you want, if it helps you. Like in this case, I didn't use the side view comparison at all. I was just able to find it from the top view and the front view. If your side view thing helps for you, then you can work ahead with it, Kavya. Just, I mean, I didn't use all the three views for comparison. If there was something very, how should I put it, very similar, only then I would go and check the side view. Yeah, okay, 38 you want me to explain. Okay. In the image X, image X represents the 6 faces of a cube. Image Y shows a composition using 5 such cubes. What could be the rear view of the shown composition? Okay. So in this case, I'm supposed to find what happens on the back side of this view. So which surface will be coming exactly opposite to 2, for example. So 2K so if, okay, chalo, 1, 1, 1, which is drastically different. Let's just see if there is some figure जहाँ पे सब कुछ अलग है. जैसे ये 3, 5, 3, 3 है, 1, 1, 1 है, 3, 2, 2 है, 2. Okay, there is, I will have to dictate. Okay, chalo, let's take the corner one, which is 2. So 2 के पीछे कौन सा आएगा? 2 के पीछे, it will go on that side. 2 के पीछे 3 आएगा. So behind 2, there will be 3 which will be coming. No, 1 second. 2, 1. Three. And then this will decide it will be 5. 1 on top and 2 on. अच्छा, यहाँ पे भी 2 है. So एक side 2 के पीछे 3 आएगा. And एक side 2 के पीछे 1 आएगा. So this 2 will have 3 on the back side, and this 2 will have 1 on the opposite side of it. So because it's 2 and 1 given here, I'm assuming ये 2 के पीछे 1 आएगा. So A गलत है. Between B, C and D, can we take a different one? सब में 1, 1, 1 है. यहाँ पे 2 and 1 है. So it's 3. यहाँ पे 3 है. We had already established कि 3 के पीछे 2 आएगा. So 3 के पीछे ये corner पे 2 आना चाहिए, 1 नहीं आएगा. So B will be the correct one. C or D, I think गलत है. Three, 2. 3, 2. नहीं, 1 second. So 2 के पीछे 3, this is fine. 2 के पीछे 3, this is fine. 2 के पीछे 5, this is a problem. 5 के पीछे 1 होना चाहिए. So B गलत है. I'm sorry. B should be wrong because I saw this. Yeah, I saw this later. 5 के पीछे it should be 1. So B गलत है. 2 and 1 is fine. So this 2 and 1 is fine. That's not a problem. This is 3 and 1 and 3 and 2. 3 के पीछे 2 आएगा. So this is fine. 3 के पीछे 1 नहीं possible है. 3 के पीछे 2 आ सकता है and 2 के पीछे 1 आ सकता है. Yeah, so C is wrong. D will be the one. Yeah, sorry, it will be D. Answer will be D. Sorry here. Yeah, so how did we do it? Huh. So we found we took this corner tile of 2. We have 2 such tiles. One is here and one is here. ये वाले टाइल के पीछे ये वाला टाइल 3 वाला टाइल आएगा. ये वाले टाइल के पीछे 1 वाला टाइल आएगा. So 2 can have 1 or 3 on its back side. So which ये जो corner टाइल है वहां पे 1 आ सकता है, वहां पे 3 भी आ सकता है. So A गलत है. B, C and D has 1 on that side. In the next part, 3, ये वाला जो corner position है 3 can have 2 on the back side. 3 can have 2 on the back side. 3 के पीछे 2 हो सकता है. So 2 is happening in B, 2 is happening in D. Between both of them, even if you take both of them, ये वाला जो part है, the last one which is 5 and यहाँ पे 3 है, यहाँ पे the last tile is 2. 2 के पीछे we have already established earlier, it can be a 1, it can be a 3. It cannot be a 5. So B गलत है, C गलत है, and D will be the correct answer. Is it clear, Prathvi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 39 we discussed. I think this was the one, 42. So that, 1 second. Yeah. So here you're given a dice. This dice is rolled from its current position A through B, C, D to stop at E position. What will be the number on the top of the dice at position E if each pair of its opposite side, of its opposite faces add to 7? Let's do it in this way. Okay, I'll say 6x. So if this is 6, तो इसके पीछे जो आएगा I write 6x. Okay? Just for the heck of simplicity, because I know कि whatever is in the front, उसका और पीछे का subtract addition is 7. So I'll say x. हाँ चलो 6x. इस 6 के पीछे 6x. I know 6x is 1 actually, but I don't want to remember कि इसका ऊपर 1 आएगा and all. Or if I want, I can do that also. That's okay. So when I just roll this over downstairs. 1 second. Just 1 second. Let me draw this. And then from this, it's moving here. It's easier to make a diagram like this. This is the final position. Okay. When I roll it down, 6 ke piche, it will be 1. So it will be 1. It will be 3. This will be 2. This will be the condition. When I roll it on the other side, like this, 1 will go on that side, 2 आएगा यहाँ पे, 3 आएगा यहाँ पे, and then 6 will be on this side. Yeah. I hope I'm correct. 1 second. Let me just cross check. 3, 2, and then 1. Six on the base. 6 won't come here. यहाँ पे ये आएगा. 3, 4 आएगा यहाँ पे. Sorry. 4 on this side. So, yeah. Okay. 4, 3, 2. When it rolls, it's further. 2 on that side. Sorry, this will be 6. Yeah. This will be 4. This will be 5. So 2 ke baad, when I roll it on that side, 2 will go on back. 6 will come on top. 3 will stay as it is. And on the back side, we have 4. When I roll it on this side, this should be 4. Ideally. Yeah. So 1, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. So C will be the correct answer. So from this position, I roll it down here. So यहाँ पे 3 will come in the front. ये 3 will come in the front. On the side 2 will remain. And on the top 6 के पीछे 1 आएगा. So 1 will be on top. When I roll it down here, 1 will go on the side, 2 will come on top और नीचे जो 6 था वो 6 side में आ जाएगा, पीछे 4 रहेगा. When I roll it down further along the same line here, in this position, जो side वाला 6 था will come on top, 4 will stay on the side, and then this side I'm not worried about, but it will be 2, and 3 will be staying where it is. Now when I roll it down further in this axis, 4 जो पीछे था will come on top, and yeah, we have to find what number will come on top. It will be 4. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. Next, number 46. 46. Yeah, here. An artwork is drawn on the ceilings, floors, and walls. When viewed from a certain angle, it creates an illusion as seen in the figure. Which option correctly depicts the artwork as seen from so when I'm going on the other side of the room, I'm looking at it from one angle. सामने से देख रहा हूँ. Now when I turn around and go on the opposite end of the corridor, I'm right now on one end of the corridor. When I go on the opposite end of the corridor, how will this artwork look like? Okay, it's actually very simple. Just look at the difference in the options. If you look at the difference in the options very carefully, you will observe this part to be different a little bit. ये वाला जो part है वो सब में different होगा. It's actually two differences very clearly. C wala or D wala. Now, if you look at the question figure, from the front side, the left is jutting out or right side wala piche ja raha hai. Now, when I go on the opposite side, this will become my right and this will become my left when I go on the opposite side and look at it. So in which case the right side will come out and the left side will go in. So C galat hai. It has to be between A, B and C. Between A, B and C, if I then look for other options, one second. If I just start comparing A, B and C together, I'll start looking for other differences which are happening. One difference which is very clear is here. यहाँ पे 2 है, 1, 2. यहाँ पे you have 3 points. These 3 are this parts. ये जो 3 part है वो है. Actually it has to be 1, 2 and 3 and not 2. So D गलत है. It has to be between A and B. Between A and B, I will now start looking for the dots which are further away. These dots which are further away. ये dots में ऐसा है कि 2 dots are on the corner and then other dots are in the middle of the walls. So if you look at A में there are no dots which are seen here. B में you can see a dot here. Corner पे you can see the dots here. यहाँ पे all 4 corners पे. So B will be the correct answer. A will also be wrong. Any doubts, any questions? Okay. 51. 50 and yeah, 51. Tree leaves are falling from a tree. Figure 1 shows the way a tree falls. Okay, figure 1 shows a way of how tree falls. A leaf falls, sorry. Figure 2 illustrates the starting orientation. We are given all 3 leaves are being thrown at different heights. Blue is 200, red is 425, yellow is 375 centimeters from the ground. Then what would be the orientation of all the leaves when they reach the ground? In this case, you don't need to solve the orientation of all the leaves, just compare the options. If you compare the options, you'll find yellow leaf to be different in all the 4 options provided. So I would say start there. Start with the yellow leaf because it's different in all. If you find the orientation of the yellow leaf, you'll sort it out. The yellow leaf is starting at 375 centimeters from the ground. If you observe this dimension, whatever is the starting position of the leaf, after 50 centimeter, the same orientation happens. In the middle, if it is 25 at 25 centimeters, the leaf rotates at 25 centimeters, the leaf rotates 180 degree. At 25 centimeters height, the leaf rotates 180 degree. And half of 25, it rotates 90 degree. I'm not going into that detail because I don't require, because 375 is a multiple of 25. 375 में से 375 मतलब 350 plus 25. 350 is a multiple of 50, which means the same orientation will be happening, plus 25. 25 में it will rotate 180 degree. ये जो भी orientation है उसका 180 degree मतलब the leaf will be facing on this side. Sorry, it will be facing on this side, like this. The leaf which is facing on that side is happening with C. A, B or D गलत है. C will be the correct one. Any doubts, any questions here? Is this clear? The question is clear? Okay. 54. 54. I'm sorry, but counting surfaces question, I'm leaving it to Pratik. I often, kind of misplace on surfaces, so I'll just leave this for him to answer. The answer is, I know, 17. I did count it 17, but it's difficult for me to explain, okay? This I had solved earlier. I don't know why you have a question here. In this case, which of the plane is the farthest away? The maximum distortion that we see in the size is at A. A का size almost half हो जाता है when I compare it from here. So whatever is the true elevation of the object, if it is reducing in the perspective view, which means that plane is farthest away. In this case, if you look at even D, B or C, the size reduction is not as drastic as we see in A. C में आपको दिखेगा, but it's very little. It's not that much जितना A में हो रहा है. So because the plane which is farthest looks smaller in perspective. So that's why the option will be chosen as A here. Any doubts? Okay. And yeah, even this one, people had some doubts. So here you're given a 4x4 grid. One of the ways the tile can be cut along the grid lines into two similar or contiguous pieces is shown here with Q. Different configuration of this cut is shown in the figure R. Yeah, how many ways excluding the cut shown in Q can the tile be cut into two similar or contiguous pieces? So the way in which you can get, so this is a similar piece. ये वाला piece और इसका opposite side वाला piece, they are the same. That's what is similar or contiguous piece. Okay. The other ways in which you can cut this grid would be first one. Okay. Let me draw. All right. So the first one would be a literal half. Second. The half where you get two halves. The next one will be one second. Let me draw here only. Will be a pattern like this. In the next one, will be a pattern like this. In the next one, it will be a pattern like this. And there's one more thing which I'm missing. One second. Uh, there's one more pattern, guys. I'm just not able to recall that. I've forgotten. Can anybody help me out with this? There's actually one more pattern. Uh, okay. I'll get back to you. There's one more pattern which I'm not able to crack it right now. I've solved it in earlier Sunday session also this. I'm just not able to recall that right now. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me get back to you on this question. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. I have received a lot of doubts from many. I'll try taking up tomorrow these doubts if possible. Okay. Thank you.